Hi, welcome to another episode of Education Hour. This is brought to you by Taguig City Education Office and Department of Education, Taguig. I am Ms. Jennica Alexis Sabado, a mathematics teacher of Western Bicutan National High School. Yes, you've heard it right. We will have a mathematics journey for today. But first, let us have an activity. For the activity, I'm going to show you 5 different situations. And then, you have to answer this one question. Does the situation lead to a greater chance of catching COVID-19? Simply say yes or no. It's that easy. I hope you are ready, and let's try the first situation. We have here, she went out to withdraw cash at the nearest automated teller machine. Is there a great chance of catching COVID-19? Yes or no? Very good. The answer is yes. And let's try the situation number 2. Oh, you went out to buy a milk tea. Does this lead to a greater chance of catching COVID-19? Yes or no? Very good. The answer is yes. Situation number 3. The man lined up to buy necessities but did not observe social distancing. Is there a greater chance of catching COVID-19? Yes or no? Very good. Again, it's another yes. I hope you got 3 out of 3 by this time. And let's try situation number 4. Situation number 4 is that she went out to talk to her neighbors. Let's see. Is this a yes or a no? And the answer is still very good. It's a yes. And now let's try the 5th and final situation. Oh, she went out to go to the market or the grocery. Does this lead to a greater chance of catching COVID-19? Yes or no? Very good. Again, it's another yes. I hope you got 5 out of 5 questions for this activity. Now, can you help me identify 2 common things among those 5 situations? Yes, may dalawang common sa kanila. And what could it be? Oh, I heard you. That's correct. The first one is that every character went outside their house. And because they went out, there is this bigger chance of catching COVID-19. And when we speak of chances, mathematically, we are speaking of probability. Yes, for today, we will have probability. Probability. It measures the likelihood or chance that the event will happen or it will occur. So, kanina, we check whether there is this chance of having COVID-19. But when we do it mathematically, we will be putting numerical values. And with that, there are 3 ways for us to be able to write our probability answers. The first is by using fraction. However, may mga bata na pag nakakita ng fraction, parang ayaw nang ituloy yung klase sa math. Therefore, there is this another way of writing your probability, which is by using the decimals. However, meron pa rin pailan-ilan na ayaw naman yung decimal values. So we also have here the last one, the percentage. So for the percent, it would be easy for us to compare the values that we will have. And for the sake of the discussion today, we will have both the fraction and the percent. Let me show you first the 4 terminologies that we need to fully understand probability. The first is the experiment. It is a process by which an observation is obtained. We also have an outcome. It is also the result of the experiment. We also have sample space. This is the set or the collection of all the outcomes of an experiment. And lastly, we have an event. It is a set whose elements are some outcomes of an experiment. Now let's have the formula in solving the probability of simple event. Instead of writing the word probability, we will just use the letter P, capital P, and then in the parentheses, we will be putting the event. It is equal to the number of favorable outcomes over number of sample space. When we say favorable outcomes, ano ba yung gusto nating mangyari? While your sample space, as said earlier, ito yung collection ng ating possible outcomes. Now, let's give it an example. During ECQ, your mom asked you to cook for dinner. She also said that you can only cook the canned goods from the relief packs given by the city government or the canned goods you bought from the market. Because you trust your cooking skills, you decided to randomly pick one. Now the question is, what is the probability that you will cook sardines for dinner? So let's check first the canned goods that you have in stock. So we have it there. You have the caldereta flavored tuna, mechado flavored tuna. We also have sardines, also corned beef, and tuna in flakes in oil. With the given situation, let's find out the experiment, the outcome, sample space, and event. Experiment, ano ba yung mangyayari? Remember, we wanted to randomly pick one out of 12 canned goods. Outcome is the result, so ano kaya yung pwedeng makuha natin? It could be tuna in flakes in oil, or the sardines, or the corned beef. You can just choose one from the outcomes. For the sample space, you have to write everything that you have there. We have 4 sardines, we have 7 tuna in mechado, caldereta, and flakes in oil. And also, we have 1 corned beef. And for the event, ito naman talaga yung gusto natin. We wanted to know the probability of getting sardine. So since you already have this example, now let's go to the question and answer this. What is the probability that you will cook sardines? Again, you have your formula here, P parenthesis event. And we are looking for the probability in cooking sardines. So the event now will be to pick sardines. So we will change this one into this for an easier writing. And again, your formula is probability equals the number of favorable outcomes over number of sample space. Favorable outcome, what do we want to happen? Remember, we wanted the sardines. So we need to write the number of sardines that we have. Also, for the number of sample space, this is just the collection of all the possible outcomes. So you just have to write the total number of canned goods. The number of sardines is 4, and the number of canned goods is 12. And if we simplify this fraction, we have 1/3. In percentage, we have 33.33%, meaning we have a 33.33 chance of getting sardines for tonight's dinner. I hope this is clear. If it is not, let's have more examples. Again, with the sardines, tunas, or corned beef that we have at home. So now let's try to get the probability of getting the mechado flavored tuna. Remember your formula, it is the number of favorable outcome over the number of sample space. So, ilan ba yung mechado sa ating cabinet? Oh, very good. 2. And what about the number of sample space? Again, ilan lahat yung delata natin? There are 12. And if we simplify the fraction, the answer is 1/6. In percentage, we have 16.67. So, maliit lang yung chance na ang kuha mong canned good ay mechado flavored. Let's have another example. What if we wanted the probability of tuna? We did not specify the flavor, so kahit anong tuna yan. So remember, we have flakes in oil tuna, mechado tuna, caldereta tuna. So in this case, you just count them all, and we have there 7. Again, for the total number of canned goods, we have 12. We cannot simplify this anymore, but we can write it in percentage, and this is actually 58.33%. So you can see there that malaki yung chance na tuna yung uulamin for the dinner. Let's have the third and final example. What about if we wanted to find out the probability of getting corned beef? Oh, in the example, we only have 1 corned beef out of 12. And in percentage, it's 8.33%. So yung chance natin for the corned beef, less than 10%. So medyo mababa. I hope you understood this part. And now I wanted us to go over to some more examples that is now related to the COVID cases. I have here a data from April 15 to April 18. This data came from I Love the Gig official Facebook page. So I summarized the number of confirmed cases, recovered cases, and of course those who died. We wanted to figure out the probability of survival for April 15, April 16, April 17, and April 18. I have here 4 different answers, and I want us to match it up. So, alin kaya dyan yung may probability of survival on April 15? So, from the table, we have to take a look at the survival is the recoveries, okay? So, we have there 18. That is 18 over the total, which is the confirmed cases. You have there over 169. 18 over 169. Oh, that's the red circle. So, we are sure that the probability of survival is 10.65%. Now, let's try the April 16. Survival for April 16. Again, check your recovered. There are 19. And for the confirmed cases, they have 174. So that is the green one. April 16 is matched with the green one. For April 17, we also have there 22 over 180. And that is the yellow one. Circle there. But to verify, let's check. From April 18, we have 22 recovered cases and 186 confirmed cases. To bring this to a close, I encourage everyone to do the maths. Not just to solve mathematics, but let's do the acronym for maths. M, manalangin. Ipagdasal natin hindi lamang ang kaligtasan ng ating sarili o ng ating pamilya o ng ating komunidad. Isama din natin sa panalangin ang mga frontliners, ganun din ang mga taong tinamaan ng may sakit na COVID. Isama rin natin sa ating panalangin ang mga gumagawa ng lunas para sa sakit na ito. A. Alagaan ang sarili. Bukod sa frequent hand washing, siguraduhin din natin na kumakain tayo ng masusustansyang pagkain. T. Tumulong sa gawaing bahay. Ito ang pinakamagandang paraan ng ehersisyo sa panahon ngayon. H. Huwag mawawala ng pag-asa. Matutong maniwala at manalig na matatapos din ang kinahaharap natin ngayon. At ang huli, S. Stay at home. Ngunit kung merong kailangang gawin sa labas, siguraduhin sundin ang social distancing. Maraming salamat sa inyong pakikinig muli. Ako po si Jennica Alexis Sabado, isang math teacher sa Western Bicutan National High School.